Younger self. Ooh.
Like you got this. You're gonna be fine.
You've got this. Keep going.
Keep going.
Number one, keep going.
Yeah.
You've got this. Number two, never second guess your convictions.
Yeah.
Number three, believe in your vision, even if it looks impossible. And I guess I'm still saying this to this self. Because sometimes I wonder, I'm like, this thing that we are building, like, is it really going to happen? Or am I traditional, or are we? I believe in it so much that I guess sometimes I feel like this faith and belief that I have in our continent is like it drives every decision that is made in the organization. I believe in it so much that sometimes I feel crazy. Like, okay, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But one day it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And that is exactly what I'll tell my younger self. Keep going. Don't second guess your convictions. And believe in this vision, even if it feels crazy.
Welcome to Leave a Legacy podcast, brought to you by the Transformation Legacy. The Transformation Legacy is an enterprise and supply development organization that bridges the gap between government, corporates, and SMEs by designing and implementing impactful, measurable, and sustainable enterprise and supplier development programs that drive sustainable business growth. In this podcast, we dive into the stories, strategies, and successes of entrepreneurs who are not just building businesses, but building legacies. I'm your host, Manunu Machane, and today we're kicking off our very first episode with a powerhouse of impact and purpose. She's an entrepreneur, mentor, strategist, and the founder and CEO of the Transformation Legacy, an organization that has become a beacon of SME development across South Africa. From the world of fashion to the front line of enterprise development, Busi Raphekwane has dedicated her life to empowering entrepreneurs to believe in themselves, build intentionally, and leave something that lasts beyond them as entrepreneurs and founders. In this episode, we will uncover her personal journey, the lessons she's learned, the moments that shaped her, and why she believes that legacy isn't just a destination, it's a decision. So, whether you are an inspiring entrepreneur, a corporate leader, or someone passionate about transformation, this podcast is for you. Welcome, Busi. It's so nice to have you on our very first episode. I think it's like groundbreaking, it's amazing. And it's fitting to have you as the founder and CEO of the Transformation Legacy on the very first Leave a Legacy podcast episode. Welcome.
Thank you. I must say it does feel weird
Right?
to have this conversation with our faces all made up, all dressed up. Yes, we do dress up when you come to the office.
Of course.
But yeah, it does feel a bit weird. But I know that we're going to have a lot of fun, and thank you for having me. I look forward to this conversation.
Me too, definitely. So let's just kick it off first about just an introduction. Who is Busi Raphekwane?
Sure. Always a trick question, right? Because there's so much to any individual, right? You don't even know where to start. But I'll kick off where it's easiest.
Yes.
So I'm the founder of the Transformation Legacy. I'm a mom to 3 amazing boys. I'm a wife. I'm also a daughter, a sister. I take my multiple roles as a woman very seriously. And I try my best to show up the right way in those roles. And I'm a passionate entrepreneur who has a crazy dream that we can transform Africa and really make it a continent where no individual has a lack of income, no individual has a lack of opportunity for them to start a business or for them to build a successful career. I just have this dream and this conviction that we can transform Africa, build it into this powerhouse that it already is, by making sure that, you know, we really take ownership of our legacy. You know, we take ownership of our gifts and talents and of the amazing beings that we are, and do that through entrepreneurship. And I'm just one person who wants to make a difference and believe that we can change the pattern of certain things. And even if those patterns have existed for so long, I believe that it just takes courage for one to pursue changing a pattern. And I would like to contribute to changing the pattern of Africa, building the economy of Africa, making sure that we've got thriving entrepreneurs and we've got thriving societies where people can live with dignity. And you know, I was just chatting to the team just a few weeks ago around how we've gotten used to poverty. And my belief is that we can end poverty. We can end poverty with the right mindset, with having the right skills, with having the right entrepreneurship skills, with knowing how to use our resources, with knowing how to do business, and with the conviction of building our own economy. And that's what I'm about.
I love that. I love that so much. But obviously, maybe let's take it 2 steps back. I know, like, for you to become who you are and to have that belief, there's a story that you always tell that, like, probably ignited that within you. So please tell us that story.
For me, it really started off from my childhood. I got very different values and convictions that were almost seeds that were planted in me by both my mother and my father. And what I got from my dad is integrity, you know, always doing right, but beyond that, being true to myself. My dad always said to me that you must fight for what is right, you know, even if it gets you killed. Like, at least you would have died knowing that you fought for what is right. And that thing really stayed with me. And for me, fighting for what is right is like true authenticity, right? Fighting for you to be like your true self and for you to bring out your true self in whatever environment that you're in, whether work or home, whatever environment. And that's what I got from my dad. Also, what I got was that thing of being comfortable in being individualistic. So being comfortable in walking a journey that is unique to you.
I love that.
And that's, you know, you might be the only one doing something, but if it's your thing, pursuing that. And I saw that even in how he lived his life, right? I really enjoyed watching him not doing the typical thing that Black fathers would do, right? Or what I saw a lot of Black fathers doing, right? I mean, we had like little puppies staying in the house.
Yes, no.
Yes, no. It's like little things like that, you know? They were like, we had a whole room with books and my dad loved reading, and, you know, he was very intentional. And I think I got that from him as well. Just being intentional about what he's doing. I was a very quiet and reserved child. And so he used to, you know, always ask me questions. And I'm like, I don't wanna think about this right now. He's like, you know what? You must think about thinking. You must think about thinking. Oh, wow. If you don't have anything to think about, think about thinking.
Okay, all right.
And I think it built that whole thing of like critically thinking about certain things around my environment and not just taking things as they are.
True.
Because he used to ask me a lot of questions. You know, what do you think of this? how would you do things differently, you know? And he, you know, if I gave him like light answers that are not well thought through, he would ask me and he would say, go think and then come back to me with a better answer, with a well thought through answer. So for me, I've got that intentionality, that observing the environment and thinking deeply about it, questioning things and not just accepting things for what they are or where they are, but always questioning. And the last thing also that he left with me was giving me exposure. So what my dad used to do is like on certain days he would just get in the car on a Sunday and would drive from Hammanskraal to Sandton and would drive through the streets of the suburbs of Sandton, and he would be like, look out the window, look at these houses.
That's nice.
Look at the suburb, you know, this is where you could live when you grow up. Don't be stuck in where you are currently, but this could be your life one day. And he would force us to absorb it. And like, we would be like, I mean, we were small at that time. All you want to do is sleep. You've been in the car all day. And it's like, look, watch, what are you seeing? How are you feeling about this environment? How does it make you feel? So he also gave me exposure. And with my mom was a teacher. Okay, so my dad initially started as a truck driver and became an entrepreneur. So I observed him a lot in him starting his business. And my mother was a teacher, and she loved her work. So what I got from her was passion. And she's always said to me that if you're going to do anything, do something that you're passionate about. Do something that aligns to what you're called to do. Don't just pick something because you think it's going to make you money or you're just wanting a job. Do something that has meaning. And she also gave me that confidence. She spoke a lot about confidence, and she was very confident, and she still is. So she left me with that, with a confidence to know that I can do anything that I put my mind to. And lastly, what she left me is compassion for people. I saw the way she took care of people and just how much love she showed to people, and that was really, really inspiring. She was really selfless. She was willing to walk the extra mile to make someone else's life better. So that was my foundation. Those values are really what anchored me and what got me to this vision of building the transformation legacy, because I believe I can contribute, and I know that anything is possible because I was given that at a young age to think beyond current perspective.
I like that. I think in everything that you said, you do carry it even today. Like, we see it, right? And I love that your dad used to take you out and let you explore, because it allowed you to dream bigger than your situation or your surroundings. So I really love that. And your mother as well. We can see the passion that you have for SMEs and just transforming their businesses and for them to build legacy-driven businesses. I love that. Okay.
Oh, just on that, just last week, I went to go see my mom, and she had a visit. She had one of her old students. So she used to teach grade 1 to grade 3, right? Oh, wow. And one of her students, who is in his 50s, came to see my mom to thank her for the contribution that she had on his life, right? And I'm like, what? This was like 40 plus years ago, and he still remembers his grade 1 teacher and made the effort to come and see you. And for me, that was a reminder of that passion and of legacy, of being intentional about planting a seed in people and doing good work, because it does go the extra mile. Imagine, like 40 plus years. Here's this man who's now, built a career for himself, who is now remembering this foundation. So
the impact that it had.
That it had on him.
Wow.
So it was such a good reminder.
That's so nice. I'm sure your mom was very charmed.
Oh
to see.
no,
Yeah,
she was
happy.
very happy.
Okay. So you studied fashion. What drew you to study fashion? So before the Transformation Legacy, there was Busi, and you studied fashion. So what drew you to that space?
I actually didn't study fashion.
Oh wow. Okay.
Although I had a fashion design business,
Yeah.
I did not study fashion.
Okay.
Fashion started for me at a young age, right? I used to design clothes. I think it's just one of those innate talents that I had.
Amazing.
And so from a young age, I would design clothes. I would make clothes for my little doll, and that's where it started for me.
Okay.
But after high school, I did not study fashion, although it felt like the natural progression. But I knew that I wanted to go into business.
Okay.
So my plan was I would do like an accounting degree. And when I'm done with that, I wanted to be a chartered accountant, make a little bit of money, and then save that money and start my fashion business.
Okay.
So that was the plan. But in my second year of studying accounting, like that fashion itch, the need for creative expression, I could not silence it anymore. It could not wait anymore. So I started my first fashion brand in my second year of varsity.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I did not study it. I'm like, I know this. I've been drawing. I've been designing. I know how
and
this
you
works.
would sew as well and everything, or just the designing?
I started with like business in mind. So already what I did is I would design the clothes, then I would find someone to make it. Someone who knew how to sew. So I would work with seamstresses or tailors who would then make the clothes for me. So I'm like, I'm not gonna sit behind the machine. I just want to create. I'm gonna design. I'm gonna find the people to buy the designs, and then someone else will make the clothes. So that's how I started off. And for me, even during that time, I'm like, okay, because I didn't study fashion, there's a lot I need to learn and know. So I took my time. I went to fabric stores. I remember doing this thing where I would go into the shop, and fabric to fabric, I would write the name of the fabric, what it does it stretch, what is it good for, what type of clothing that fabric is used for. I would speak to the staff. They knew me. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm trying to start. I don't have a fashion degree. I don't have background. I need to learn about this fabric. What does this fabric do? It looks nice. And then they would advise me, no, don't use that for a skirt. That won't work. Or don't use that for a top. That won't work. So I really used like the resource, like the people that are available to help me out. Ask them a lot of questions, and they would share their knowledge freely with me. And I took my time in understanding, and then I would design these clothes and then send it off to a seamstress to make it and then sell it. Wow. So that's how the fashion started off.
Wow.
And I had I didn't even feel the need to go to fashion design in school. Because I was like,
they had the talent.
You know what? I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna do it my way. And anyway, I had to finish my degree.
Of course, yes.
My parents were not having it. I'm like, okay, I actually want to switch my course from accounting to entrepreneurship, and they're like, no, you're gonna finish what you started. So for me, I had to use what I had at my disposal and find a way to make it work.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long did you run that business? Like from second year up until?
Second year, actually I ran that business throughout. So I ran it from second year. When I finished varsity, then, I had this choice of like, what do I do? Like I was at the crossroads, right? Do I then find a job in accounting and continue with the plan that I had, or do I continue with the business? And at the time, I moved back home, so I was staying at rest during varsity. I moved back home and just trying to make this decision, like, what now?
Yeah.
And also needing a job, right?
Of
Like,
course,
you know,
yes,
you've
yeah.
been in varsity so long, you
You
wanna be independent, you wanna, you know, have your own little townhouse and car. So I was conflicted by that, the business, and also like, do I carry on with this accounting stream? But you know what helped me in making that decision? What helped me was, also before that, I got offered a job, right, in accounting, and this company was like, okay, we'll pay for you to even further your studies, to do your honors, and you know, we'll give you a company car. Like, it looked lucrative, right?
Yeah.
And all I needed to do is just sign on the dotted line.
And then everything's done.
And then I'm like, I cannot do this. And what helped me make that decision was integrity. Because I could not fathom going to work every day and pretending I want to build something with this organization that wants to build something in me.
Yeah.
And, you know, sitting there every single day for that 3 years because they wanted to go into this 3-year contract and giving an impression that I want to be there when I know that I wanted to build my fashion brand.
Yeah.
For me, that's what helped me make that decision. It was the integrity for me that helped me say, okay, no, you're not going to take a job in accounting because you're going to have to be lying to someone and tell them, oh, I want to grow. Oh, yes, you can pay for my studies. Oh, yes, I want to be a chartered accountant, so invest in me. When knowing very well that my heart was in fashion designing and I wanted to run this business. So I said no to that path because of that integrity that was instilled in me by my father at a young age, to always do what is right and to always be true to myself. And then stayed home, and I thought, I'm actually not ready to just be in business. I feel like I want to have exposure to what it feels like to work.
Okay.
And I needed that experience. I needed to understand more about the business environment. I felt that the accounting degree was not enough for me to give me, you know, I didn't feel that confidence, that foundation of this is what it feels like to be in a business environment. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna try find work in the fashion space. Then I heard about fashion buying. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a thing called fashion buying. All right, maybe I can try something there. Then I started applying for graduate programs in fashion buying. So during that time when I was home and making these decisions, I started noticing a lot of businesses in the township that I grew up in, either struggling to survive, closing down, or just in bad shape. And these are businesses when I was growing up that I really admired because I've always had a keen interest for entrepreneurship. I admired them. And now going to these businesses and hearing that they're not doing well, some of them closing down, for me it really troubled me. And I asked myself, like, why is it that these businesses, you know, they grew to a certain level, why could they not go beyond that? Why can't they exist in the long term? Why don't they get in better shape over time? Why do they regress over time? And for me, that question, you know, like, just, it was a daily thing because I would go either to an internet cafe
just to try to find out
or to buy food or whatever, and it was the same theme across these businesses. So I used to speak to my dad a lot about this, and I'm like, why? Like, what's happening to township-based businesses? You know, why aren't they getting it right? And after a lot of conversations with him, he's like, you know what?
As an entrepreneur as well. In that
as an entrepreneur, because I'm asking me as an entrepreneur, you know, you would know what happens, you know? And he's like, you know what? Small businesses struggle, they experience challenges, but you must go be the change that you want to see in the world. Like, if you want to change how small businesses perform, if you want to change the narrative of small businesses in the township, you go
change it.
Make a contribution. And I'm like, make a contribution I'm out here trying to find
exactly.
a job.
You're also trying to find a
right?
job, find your place
Yes,
in entrepreneurship.
Yes,
and you're being told to go be the
and
change.
I'm being told to be the change. I'm like, how? No, I can't do that. I don't know how to. But he planted a seed in me, and I kept inquiring. And I'm like, okay, perhaps it's lack of information on how to run a business. It's lack of knowledge around how to run finances. I went to some of these businesses. I would ask them, so what is your biggest struggle? And it would be like cash flow. Sometimes like, oh no, I didn't plan well. But it all boiled down to like just the lack of business knowledge. And that seed was left in me. It was in 2007.
Wow.
And now the Transformation Legacy started in 2017. So it was a long journey leading up to the Transformation Legacy.
So you became the changed and you established the Transformation Legacy. In the beginning, I gave an overview of the Transformation Legacy, but I would like to hear it from you, right? Because you had that vision, you had that seed planted into you. So tell us more about the Transformation Legacy, the mission, the vision, and how you envision it being that the change in SMEs.
So the Transformation Legacy is an entrepreneur development organization whose purpose is to equip entrepreneurs with the necessary tools, skills, and support that they need to build successful businesses that will thrive in the long term and become legacy businesses. And so our mission is to increase the success rate of entrepreneurs. We know that through the success rate of entrepreneurs, that contributes positively to the growth of our economy. And the growth of our economy is so important. So important. Even the success of entrepreneurs in general is so important. I was reading this paper recently, and it was stating that, still even today in 2025, 91% of businesses across South Africa are small and medium-sized businesses, right? And those businesses employ over 60% of the workforce in our country. So the development of entrepreneurs is not a nice to do, like it's an imperative. It's something that is so crucial to our economy and to our society, because if entrepreneurs are employing 60% of the workforce, that's the majority of the workforce. We need to make sure that they stay in business,
of course,
and that they're profitable and growing, so that they can retain that 60% workforce and can even employ more. So the work that we do really expands beyond the success of the entrepreneur and their business, right? That individual success. It's about the success of our country. It's about the success of our continent. And really, it's about also the success of our society. We know that when people have income and livelihood, there's dignity. There's dignity in individuals who can have a solid livelihood, right? So that's why the Transformation Legacy exists. We exist to build those businesses for those very reasons. And really we believe that we can build businesses that will exist beyond the founder. And I think about those businesses that that I interacted with in 2007. How hard they must have worked to get where they got to. And for me, I always think about the work that we're doing is about making sure that the efforts of an entrepreneur can yield in long-term results. If you make an investment in something, you're making an investment knowing that you're going to get a return for it.
Of course, yes.
So we want to make sure that entrepreneurs, in the investment that they make in to start their businesses, where they put in effort, money, and all the resources they put in, they can get the reward for it. We don't want them to fail because they didn't understand how to remain compliant in the industry, or fail because they didn't understand how to manage their cash flow. But they've put in so much already in building this business. So we want to help them take care of that.
Of course, yeah.
Take care of their investment, and the investment in a form of work and effort, right, and resources, so that they can get maximized returns for it. And not just short-term returns, but returns that can last beyond them. And can make an impact in communities around them.
Ooh, that's heavy. For the transformation, like to make that impact. But I see with us, like, a lot of things that we do before we even start everything. It's rooted in the Lord Jesus Christ, right? And that's something that you instilled within your organization, and that's something that I think a lot of CEOs or founders, they don't really do in their organizations, but you really are enforcing that. I think when I came in, the days when we come into the office, we start with a prayer and a scripture. That is very impactful. So how important was that for you and your staff members, actually, just to implement that in the work that you do internally, externally?
Extremely important.
Yeah.
For me, my journey, let me even start off with who I am, right? Who I'm created to be. I believe that God is my creator, right? And He's brought me here on earth for a specific purpose. And that whatever I do, it should be aligned to that purpose. So everything that I have done in my life has been linked to the purpose that God has created me for. Even the worry and the frustration in 2007 around why business is failing, I don't think that was random. I think God planted that seed in me. Because He wanted me to do something about it. The fact that my fashion designing business that I loved so much, failed, and I had to eventually close down, that was all part of purpose, so that I could feel the pain that an entrepreneur feels when their hard work and all their effort that they put in, they can't get a reward for it. And even watching my father in business, I think it was purposeful to grow up, around that. I mean, I got involved in my father's business as a teenager because I would do the bookkeeping. I did accounting in high school, so I would help with the bookkeeping, getting involved in that. It was all purposeful. And so for me, starting even the transformation legacy and saying, I want to make this different. It's not about me. I think if there wasn't God in it, I would be in any other business. I like entrepreneurship. I could have started again in the fashion designing business or any other business. But I've been called
to be the change.
In this area. I've been called to bring the gifts and talents that I'm born with. Because can you think, let's take a moment to think about this, right? You don't even get to choose what you're good at.
No, you don't. Oh, yes. No,
you don't get to, do you get to choose what you're good at? Do you get to choose your personality? Do you, there's a lot of us that we don't even get to choose, right? We're just built that way.
Yes.
We are just created that way.
And a lot of us try to run away from it.
And the reason why we are built that way is for what we are here on earth to do. And for me, I take that very seriously.
Yeah.
I take that very, very seriously. Even being reserved as a child, and being quiet.
It counted for something.
It counted. I needed to absorb and think and process and create my own world for this path that I'm walking on. So when I started the Transformation Legacy, it was really driven by God. I started at the worst time for anyone to start a business, honestly. Yes, my son was 3 months old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We were moving to a new home, we were building a home. Financially, it was not the right time for me to start a business. I was an executive in another organization. I love my job. I really love my job. I love my team. I enjoyed what I did. I did entrepreneur development work. So it didn't make sense. I'm already doing this work. Why do I need to move to start the Transformation Legacy? The timing was just not, it wasn't the right time to leap and start a business. But yet God was like, this is the time.
This is the time, yeah.
Because I want you to make a difference in a different way. And so it started, the foundation of the Transformation Legacy is God. It took a little bit of time, I must say, for me to then build that into the organization. Although I knew that the foundation is God, to then stand in front of the team and say, actually, we are doing this way.
Can you imagine?
It took time. I think it took about 4 years.
Really?
For us to even have a first prayer as a team. 4 to 5 years.
Because you don't know how people will take
Yes.
it. Yeah.
I was too worried about what people were going to think, whether does it align to labor law. You know, you can't exactly enforce religion in an organization, right? There's rules around that. You don't want to create any prejudice against anyone.
Yeah.
And for me, taking that stance was a risk because I didn't know how people are going to respond to it.
Yeah.
But I had to do it because it's truth. It's the truth of who we are.
Yes.
And I, as I get older, and as I get closer and closer to being my true self, because that's also a journey, I realize that there's certain things that are important and you must do whether or not, and not compromise, and whether or not they're going to work in your favor or people are going to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes you must stick to who you are and what you represent. But it took time to get to this point where you're like, okay, this is who we are. We're going to pray before meeting. This is what we believe in. We're going to speak about God freely. Believe in Jesus. This is the root of this organization. Yes, we work hard. Yes, we are strategic, but all of it comes from God. And we are here because of the grace of God. It wasn't an easy place to arrive at, but it feels like it's always been.
I love that. Okay, that's very nice. I didn't know that part.
Oh, is it?
I didn't know that part. Okay, wow. So let's talk about TTL a bit more, Transformation Legacy. So it's a female-owned, and it's an all-female staff. Like, was that also planned? Was that intentional? Like, how did you even come to that point?
That was intentional.
Okay.
Not from the very start. Like I was having a conversation with one of our colleagues actually a few days ago when she was saying, do you know what your unique value proposition is going to be right up front when you start the company? Or do you know all these things right up front? And I always say, when you start with passion, you start with purpose, and things unfold as you go. Things become clearer as you go. Certain values get cemented as you go. And for me, starting with an all-female team and taking the decision of having an all-female core team also was something that unfolded. And I'm like, oh, hey, I've got 3 young children, right? What would be nice is to work in an environment that understands this dynamic,
Yeah.
And as a woman, I, like, even as a business owner, right, I took the decision to grow the transformation legacy at the level and pace of the growth of my kids.
Okay. Oh wow.
So it was an intentional decision that I didn't really communicate to anyone, but to myself, I'm like, I'm gonna grow at the pace of the growth of my kids, because they need me in different ways at different stages, and I wanna be there at those stages and still run this business. So what does this mean? Oh, okay, it might mean that I don't take up certain opportunities. It means that, okay, if anything involves travel, or okay, if you're engaging with an international organization, oh no, that might not be for me at this stage. So that's what I was conscious about. Like, okay, is going this direction going to align with me being a mom and me being there for my kids? If it's a yes, I'll do it. If it's a no, I don't even touch it.
Oh wow.
So that was always the thought process from the start. And then I thought, let me create the same environment for women.
Oh wow.
So I'll hire women, create an environment that understands their dynamic. Even though they're not mothers, not all the women in the team are mothers, but we wear multiple hats. We've got people that depend on us. We play a certain role in society that needs us to observe how much can I give, how much am I needed? Will my boss understand if I say that, okay, today, I just want to check up on my mom, can I just take a few hours off? Like, that sort of thing. It's like small things, but it counts so much, in a woman's schedule.
Very much.
To know that you are understood for who you are, to know that you don't need to act like you don't care deeply about your other roles. And I also saw it a lot in the corporate environment, where there are a lot of women that, like, really they are doing well in corporate, but that are like it's almost like you're a man, like where's the woman in you?
You have to sacrifice that.
You have to sacrifice that part. It's, a lot of, I see some like dumbing down, that part of themselves, the feminine part of themselves, for that growth. And I didn't want that for this environment. I wanted women to come as they are. And you know how our meetings are. There's lots of tears in our meetings, lots of emotions. That's who we are.
Okay.
That's who we are.
That's who we are.
That's how we express ourselves. Lots of laughter. That's who we are. If you had to burst in tears in a boardroom somewhere, I don't know whether that would be acceptable. But here, that we do it freely. We feel and we allow ourselves to feel. And so the intention was to build an environment that understands the dynamic of women and that sees them, and that also fosters growth, because you can achieve growth. As a woman, with all those dynamics, you can still grow. You can still grow. You can still, build up your career. And that's what I want women to believe, that, your dynamic is part of who you are. Embrace it and grow with that.
I like that. When you mentioned that you progressed the transformation legacy with the progression of your children. A colleague of ours said that, I might not say it exactly, but your career decisions are based on, you make your career decisions based on what is happening in your life. And it's exactly what you just said right now, right? Like, the pace of the growth for the transformation legacy will be the pace of my children, what they need from me at this specific moment. Absolutely. And it doesn't stop. I mean, even now, right? My youngest, who was 3 months when the transformation legacy started, he's now 8. He's turning 9 this year. And but they're needing much more in a different way. So now
a lot of time is spent on weekends because of sporting activity and all these things that they're involved in. So now my weekends are packed.
Yeah.
So I've now decided to have a dynamic work schedule where I'm like, okay, what gives me energy? What are the important things that I used to do on weekends that I can't do anymore on weekends because of their activities?
Of course, yes.
So now I'm like, on a Monday, I will start off with a hike before I start my day.
Okay.
Because that's something that I would typically do
over the
weekend, but I can't do that anymore. And even this Monday, actually this past Monday, after all the meetings we had, at 3:30, I went for a solo hike. Yeah, I went for a solo hike. I'm like, okay, I didn't get to do this in the morning because I had some deadlines I need to fulfill. But I did that in the afternoon and then came back, started cooking and preparing for supper for the family and what they needed for the evening. So I'm trying to weave in the typical activities that I would do during the weekend that energize me into my week, you know, taking an hour here, 2 hours there to do that during the week, because now my kids are not needing me as much during the week. They're at school during the day, they've got sports after school, but on the weekend it's not your time anymore. No, it's not my time anymore.
Okay. What was the hardest part, just going back to starting the Transformation Legacy, right? And then being a woman, obviously, being in those boardrooms, trying to convince people of who you are and what you stand for and what you want to build. Like, what was the hardest part about starting the Transformation Legacy and just getting that first client? What was hard about that?
I think the hardest part, firstly, was actually taking the decision and the leap to start.
Okay.
That was for me the hardest, not just because of the timing, because the timing was off, not just because of that, because I had failed in business before, and I knew the pain of failing in business, and it took a lot to bring me back after that. It took a lot for me to come back again to myself, right? And I had to overcome that fear of failure and that fear of losing, and you know, this decision really triggered those old memories. So the hardest part, I even had a life coach to help me through this part. That's how hard it was for me to get clarity and to be okay with failure, and to create something new and to not carry that into this business. So firstly, that was that. And then secondly, just like any other business, right? Although I already had been in the entrepreneur development space for, I think it was for 7 years or 8 years before I started the Transformation Legacy. It still felt like new, right? Because now you're no longer under another organization's well-known brand. It's just you. And trying to build my personal brand, trying to build the brand of the Transformation Legacy, trying to build credibility behind it so that people could take us seriously. I think that was tough. But funny enough, I enjoyed that. I don't know. I enjoyed that process of the early days, the fight, the no's, the you know, even the rejections. I think for me, because I knew that I didn't want that experience of failing, I had this drive to make this work. So for me, I was like, this is going to work either way, and all I have to do is fight through it. Okay, you're saying I didn't take the no's personally, I didn't take the rejections personally. I went back, I'm like, okay, what would you change? And I would say, you're a one-man show, like we don't trust you, maybe do this. I took everything that I experienced as a lesson that I could weave back into the company. So that process was also nice because I love creating. I'm a creative, right? I like creating. So it felt like I was creating something.
Okay.
And so the hardships were not big blows to me. They didn't demotivate me. I'm like, okay, but how do I then, oh, you don't like that? Okay, how do I then, improve? Let me weave it into our company profile. So I was in constant creation, right? Okay. So there was Busi, the entrepreneur, going out to look for business.
Yeah.
Then I was the one creating the programs. I literally wrote every single workshop module that we have. We've refined them over the years, but wrote them from scratch. And I love that process. And every time you go to a client, they're like, oh, but you don't have this, then I would create something. Course, So for me, that was enjoyable. It was tough, physically tough on my body.
Can imagine.
Lots of sleep. My babies were still small. And I think just trying to stay afloat for everyone, for my family,
those many hats.
Those many hats. I think that was the toughest part. But when I think about it now, I'm like, okay, I actually enjoyed.
Wow. But I guess you use them as trials. The no's were trials. Yeah, that's a very nice way to look at it. It has a different perspective. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I hear, because we work with entrepreneurs a lot, I always hear this thing around, but we get so many no's. And for me, I'm like, that's part of it. Like, that's part of the journey. That's part of what must get you excited.
Exactly,
oh, okay, I've got this company that said no. How can I make my value proposition better for the next company to even say maybe? And the no's are a part of the process of you refining your business model and your value proposition so that it's something that people can find value in.
Yes. What are the top 3 ingredients you believe every entrepreneur needs to build a legacy business? I know, like, to say 3, it's like, there's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But what are the top 3 that you also, like, you use within the transformation legacy?
I think firstly, as an entrepreneur, the first ingredient is you as the individual behind your business. Is you're gonna need your mind, right? And you're gonna need it to work in your favor. You're going to need your mind working for you, right? So the first ingredient is your mental strength, your mental resilience, your mental health, and to have a progressive mind. That mind needs to work in your favor because everything will flow from there. And if your mind is not in the right space, everything else will be so hard. So it starts there. The first ingredient is invest in having the most resilient mindset that anyone can have. If you invest in that, you're okay. You can go into COVID, economic downturn. You'll survive. You'll feel the punch. You'll go through tough times, but you'll be there. You'll survive. You will see your business through the different stages. The first investment, and for me, I carried on with my life coach from the point of transitioning into the transformation legacy and working through the healing of having a failed business, one that reflects on me, and I continued with her because I understood the importance of investing in yourself. I knew I had certain insecurities that could impact how I show up in my business. I knew there were certain areas that I needed to build in myself so that I can be an effective leader. I wanted to grow in my leadership. I just didn't want to end at being a good entrepreneur. I wanted to be a great leader. And I wanted to invest in that. And one of the key things that you work on with a life coach or when you're on a personal development journey is your mind. If you don't work on anything else, your mind will take you to places that you don't even imagine going. It will take you everywhere. It will take you everywhere. I remember this ritual that I would do, like just to get myself right, is this thing around thinking of your mind as a garden, right? And when you see your mind as a garden, choose what you want to plant in that garden. What seed do you want to plant? Because the seed that you want to plant in your garden is going to then, if you put an apple seed, you're going to get apples, right? You put a seed for roses, that's what you get. Same thing around what you think. Like if you think negative thoughts, that's what you get. So I used to go into that in the early stages of the business, just imagining my mind as a garden and being intentional about the thoughts that I'm planting in my mind before I even kick off the day. So for me, that is like the first investment is invest in your mind. If you've got a resilient mind, you can build a legacy business, because legacy business is about longevity and endurance. And what gets us endurance is our mindset. It's our mindset. Yeah. And the second ingredient to building a legacy business is serve. Right? It sounds right. But build a business that can add value, that serves in your environment, in the market, in communities, in the people that you want to sell your products and services to. It must start with serving. If you're constantly serving, you're adding value. People want to buy things that add value to them. And you constantly have to think about, am I adding value? What else can I do to add value? And not think about, how do I get this product out so that I can make money? That is fine. That will give you growth. But that growth will be short term. But if you think of your business as, how does this all add value? Then that's the kind of stuff that will make you, your business live on beyond you as the founder. And the third thing is integrity. There is nothing that will, make your business have a short lifespan quicker than the lack of integrity. Just honor your commitments. Do what you said you're going to do. Do right by your stakeholders, whether it's your customers, your staff, your suppliers, your clients. Just be the person that you've promised to be to that ecosystem within your business. Integrity is about building trust. When people trust you, think about a brand that you trust. What is the brand that you trust?
Oh wow, there's so many right now. Hey, Sunlight. I think it's something that we grew up with.
Yes,
from
right.
My point.
Right. You trust it because it delivers on what it said it's going to do. Right. It's integrity. Sunlight is not saying, no, this badge, we're not going, we just know. We're not going to put that ingredient because we are trying to cut costs, because we haven't been profitable. It's consistent. And because of its consistency, you trust it. And that trust is what takes you all the way. Even if your business changes its services or products, if they know your brand, they'll be like, no, but we trust.
Yes, of course, yes.
We will buy whatever from you because we trust that you'll deliver on what you said you'll deliver on. So for me, those are the three things. Your mindset, adding value in the market by serving, and thirdly, your integrity, building trust, because that's the stuff that will make you last. That actually kind of rhymes. Building trust, that's the stuff that will make you last.
Nice. Thanks, Busi. I like that. What does it mean to build a legacy business? I think the first time when I read about the transformation legacy and the profile, And that line, like building a legacy business, for me was like, whoosh. I've never really looked at it like that, right? So what does that mean? Yeah.
Building a legacy business is about building a business that adds and creates value beyond the founder. So that has value that continues increasing in value beyond the person who started it, beyond its creator. Yeah. And it's the ripple effect of what the founder has created, of the good things that the founder has created.
Yeah.
And and it's about long-term impact, really. Building a business that has long-term impact in the lives of people.
And we see that there are companies today that they have outlived the founders, right? But I think even more impactful is building a legacy for Black entrepreneurs, right? Yeah. I think, like you said in the beginning, there aren't a lot of businesses, or rather you'd see a lot of businesses that would, you are the founder and then the business just stops. So I think building that legacy business for Black entrepreneurs, that is,
Absolutely. I mean, when we are building a business right now in our economy, we cannot ignore our past, right? Our history and where we come from, and just the hardships that we've had to go through to be in business in this environment. So building a legacy business is about rewriting the legacy that we've had to continue with, right? And creating a new legacy of equal economic participation, of economic transformation, of having people have access to start businesses that can thrive, so it's for Black-owned businesses, it really is beyond the business. It's about recreating the legacy. So that we can create impact in our society.
So talking about impact, I know the Transformation Legacy, we design and we implement programs, and you have mentioned that in the beginning you would write the programs, you would write the workshops yourself, right? What makes your approach different? Like, what is it that you implement within writing those programs?
Our approach is holistic. We don't just think about what business skills do you need to have, what do you need to understand about business. We also focus on the individual behind the business. Because that is the person who's going to drive this growth in the business. So all our programs are holistic. They focus on the personal development of the entrepreneur, the business management skills and entrepreneurship skills, and also professional skills. So basic skills like time management and planning, things that
I got this, but no.
Exactly, that entrepreneurs struggle with, right? In most cases where you've had a bad experience purchasing something, a service or product from an entrepreneur, it's sometimes mostly around those professional skills, right? That the time management wasn't good, you went to collect something and it wasn't ready. That's not necessarily just about business skills and them having processes, but it's about time management and planning and all of that. So we make all programs holistic, thinking about what are the key things that an entrepreneur would need to make them successful and to make them successful in the long term. So we are always thinking long term, even in the programs. We don't just get excited about immediate growth of revenue or profitability. We get excited about foundation, like what structure have you placed in your business to maintain this growth. So we can celebrate the growth, but what structure and foundation have you put in place for you to maintain this growth, for you to hold this growth and deliver on this growth. So I think that's what would make us
I like that.
different.
Because that's very important. Revenue growth is great, but to maintain that, it's very important as well.
Absolutely.
What kind of impact do you hope the transformation legacy will make long term? So not just for entrepreneurs, but for the economy. Because now it's South Africa, you want to go Africa and
and beyond.
And beyond, So what kind of impact?
When we speak about impact, I always think about the stats, right, of 70 to 80 small businesses fail within the first 5 years of operation. And for me, it starts there. Just changing the success rate, increasing the success rate of entrepreneurs. So firstly, taking it to zero. Even if it happens beyond my lifetime, I believe this is a legacy business that will continue that work. That no entrepreneur needs to fail because of a lack of business knowledge or skills or access. They can fail because of lack of effort. Sometimes things, people don't just put in enough work. But it mustn't be because a person has put in the work but just doesn't understand how to run their business. We need to make business knowledge accessible, adaptable, and second nature to every single individual, so that when they want to start a business, they know exactly what to do. That's the impact that I would like to have. And a second one is when we drive around the township and rural areas, seeing more thriving businesses and less businesses that are closing down. It must be like an anomaly to see a business that is struggling at whatever level. At each level, a business must thrive to, in alignment with that level where they are. So seeing more of those, driving around, going around Africa, there's more successful businesses than there are failing businesses. That's the legacy you want to leave. And thirdly, having entrepreneurs with really resilient mindset that are building for legacy. So having the majority of entrepreneurs who are speaking the legacy language. What value am I leaving? Am I building trust? How am I investing in my mindset? Am I having a transformed mindset that is resilient, that is progressive, that is productive?
And I see that in the SMEs that we work with, right? Their mindset has changed to just not me running this, but this is a legacy-driven business. This is a legacy business that I'm building, right, for my kids, beyond them as well. And it's very nice to be in the workshops and hear them as they speak. Like, it's goosebumps. It's mind-blowing. You are here now. 2017, Transformation Legacy started, but before that there was a seed that was planted, obviously. If you could speak to your younger self or a young entrepreneur today, what would you say?
Younger self. Ooh.
Like, you got this. You're gonna be fine.
You've got this. Keep going.
Keep going.
Number one, keep going. You've got this. Number two, never second guess your convictions. Number three, believe in your vision, even if it looks impossible. And I guess I'm still saying this to this self. Because sometimes I wonder, I'm like, this thing that we are building, like, is it really going to happen? Am I traditional, or are we? I believe in it so much that I guess sometimes I feel like this faith and belief that I have in our continent is like, it drives every decision that is made in the organization. I believe in it so much that sometimes I feel crazy. Like, okay, this is crazy. But one day it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And that is exactly what I'll tell my younger self. Keep going. Don't second guess your convictions, and believe in this vision, even if it feels crazy.
Because I mean, what's that saying? It's the crazy ideas that make it, or something.
Yes, there's exactly. And then fourth, okay, let me just add another bonus one is dance to the beat of your own drum. I think, especially now, I'm so surprised that it's so prevalent now in this social media era, right? Where people want to be like someone else. We want alignment. We want to fit in more and more than we did in the past. And if you want to do something but you haven't seen it before, you're too scared, you're not going to do it. It's so important, for us to dance to the beat of our own drum. Even if you're walking alone, at least it's your journey that you're walking. Right. And no one else.
You don't want to work anybody's journey.
No.
How does Busi Raphekwane want to be remembered?
As a woman who danced to the beat of her own drum. As someone who used up all her gifts, talents, purpose, and gave everything in her to achieve her vision. As a mother who left a beautiful legacy of hard work, of integrity, of value, of compassion and love to her children. As a wife who is Proverbs 31 wife, I'm aspiring to that one day, right?
Yes.
The woman who's got this, right? But also the woman who knows how to be gentle with herself and take a step back and celebrate and rest as often as she wants to.
I like that. I know you really rest so much.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No, I do.
So
I take my rest game very seriously.
Yes, I need to get onto that slowly but surely, but
That's critical.
Yeah,
I like saying rest is a business strategy.
Yes.
It really is. Rest is so understated. It's such a critical business strategy because when you're rested, you can solve any problem.
Right.
Because you don't have clutter in your mind. You've decluttered. Hopefully you've done things that will help you declutter.
Yes,
You've re-energized. You've got more to give to whatever you need to do. So rest for me is
it's a business strategy.
No, it's a business strategy. It's a business strategy and it's a life hack that we should all be doing more and more and too much of. You should be doing too much of resting. I see the way I come back when I've rested. All the ideas, I'm like, okay, let's do this. All the opportunities I'm able to identify once I've rested. I'm like, no, I don't know. We must be doing too much of it. Yeah.
And we were not taught that. I mean, as entrepreneurs, no rest.
Exactly. We've glamorized we work 16-hour days to prove our value.
Yes.
And no, actually, your value is in what you produce, not how much time you spend behind a laptop. And you can produce so much more when you're rested than when you're trying to get through your 16 hours and not giving your very best. And that's what I want to be remembered for.
Resting as a business strategy. Complete the sentence. We're speaking legacy, everything legacy today. So leaving a legacy means?
Leaving a legacy means adding incredible value to our society, making an impact that will live on beyond me, and contributing positively to everyone around me.
And that brings us to the end of our very first episode of Leave a Legacy. Thank you so much, Busi, for today. I really enjoyed having you. It was quite insightful to hear your story and the story of the Transformation Legacy and what you envision for the Transformation Legacy as well as the SMEs out there. If her journey taught us anything, it's that purpose, resilience, and belief are the cornerstones of a lasting business. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, remember, you're not just building for now, you're building for generations to come. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a fellow entrepreneur. Subscribe to our podcast and follow us on our social media platforms. Till next time, thank you.